What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today we're going to take a look and a listen to economist Robert Reich. He's going to be talking about this whole situation when it comes to the Democrats and what needs to happen or what could happen in the future that could help move legislation forward. So we're going to be talking about this. And so if you guys don't know, this economist was the labor secretary during the Clinton administration, and he has a lot of experience. He's been around for a very, very long time. And he's really savvy when it comes to social media and everything like that. So he's always putting out content. He's always on Twitter and YouTube and a variety of different places. And so I want to play this clip of him, and then we'll talk a little bit about it on the other end. But first off, on this channel, we talk about money and retirement. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification. That way you get notified anytime we put out a video. And like always, if you see my name and a picture of me in the comment section, make sure you see a check mark next to my name. That check mark signifies that it's me. If you do not see that check mark, it's not me. It's someone trying to impersonate me. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and play this clip, and then we'll talk about it. Here we go.
Senator Joe Manchin and Senator Kyrsten Sinema are on a power trip, but we can make them irrelevant after this year's election. Right now, we have only 48 real Democrats in the Senate. Manchin and Sinema are Democrats in name only and are allowing the filibuster to block the Democrats' agenda. They're acting more like the king and queen of the Democrats' agenda, deciding on their own to prevent critical measures from being enacted. Well, it's time to dethrone them and get a Democratic Senate that actually delivers, doing what it takes to get 50 votes to carve out the filibuster. Only then can we protect voting rights, codify Roe v. Wade, pass universal background checks for gun sales, and protect the planet. So the question for the midterms is how to get to 50 real Democrats. The math isn't complicated, friends. We already have 36 Democratic senators or independents who vote with Democrats who are not up for re-election. Add to that 7 who are in safely Democratic seats. That gives us 43. We also need to defend these 5 who have a good chance of winning if we do what we can to help them. We also have fair odds of gaining 2 to 3 new real Democratic senators. John Fetterman in Pennsylvania supports abolishing the filibuster entirely and has pledged to be that 51st vote to pass voting rights, codify Roe v. Wade, legalize marijuana, raise the minimum wage, and much more. He's running against celebrity snake oil salesman Dr. Oz, who's endorsed by Trump. Tim Ryan in Ohio also supports abolishing the filibuster, citing the need to pass labor protections, raise the minimum wage, protect voting rights, and act on the climate. His opponent is author and venture capitalist J.D. Vance, who is promoting Trump's big lie and is once again endorsed by Trump. In Wisconsin, Mandela Barnes supports abolishing the filibuster to fight voter suppression and protect democracy. He will face Republican incumbent Ron Johnson, another proponent of Trump's big lie, who, when democracy was under attack on January 6th, was busy trying to hand-deliver fake electors to the vice president. If we win 7 of these crucial races, we get a real Democratic Senate that won't depend on King Manchin or Queen Sinema. With just a couple more Democrats in the Senate, Manchin and Sinema will be irrelevant, and Democrats can finally deliver without being blocked by the filibuster. Friends, this is doable. Focus on these critical Senate races, and let's make it happen.
Okay, so that was economist Robert Reich. So we heard what he was saying when he was talking about the filibuster. Now, this is very, very important, and this is part of the hang-up that we've seen in the last couple of years. The fact that in the Senate, you need 60 votes. And the majority is 51, right? And they could get a lot of legislation passed with 51 votes, or if we want to say it, 50 votes, and then you have the vice president come in and break the tie. Kamala Harris would come in and break the tie. So they would be able to pass a lot of legislation if they didn't have the filibuster, if there wasn't that rule that said we need 60 votes. We need 60 votes to move forward with legislation. If not, then they will open it up for debate and they can filibuster. They can just waste time. They don't even have to do a filibuster, a physical filibuster anymore. But in this situation, getting rid of the filibuster would allow them to move forward with legislation. And the argument against getting rid of the filibuster is they want these bills to be bipartisan. They want people from both sides to come on board and all this. But the reality is it doesn't happen. We don't see it now. And we see reconciliation bills going through, all Democrats voting for it and no Republicans voting for it. And then when it comes to getting legislation done, we know that Republican leadership already said they're not going to do anything with Democrats or with the president. And so when you have attitudes like that, how do you get anything done? You just don't. And the only bills that you'll get done are very, very small bills because you can't put a lot of things in there because you're going to have one side saying no. So it just doesn't work. And so what he is saying is he's looking at these races, and I did a video, and I'm going to do a video once a week where I talk about some of the different races, how the campaigns are going. So if you want to see the video that I did last week, I'll post it up here. I'll post a link here so you can check it out. But when it comes down to it, we need to watch these races. And so basically what the economist was saying is if they can pick up 7, they'll have enough votes to move forward with reconciliation. And then they'll also have senators that are in favor of doing away with the filibuster, because you have Senator Manchin and Senator Sinema. They don't want to do anything when it comes to the filibuster. They don't want to touch the filibuster. But if you get some politicians that are in there that want to do away with the filibuster, maybe they'll have a better chance of doing that and moving forward with the legislation. At the very least, if you have 52 Democrats in the Senate, at the very least, you can still move forward with some of this legislation through reconciliation. So that's the other angle there. And so a pretty interesting clip there. I just wanted to show you kind of how the Democrats are trying to maneuver when it comes to the midterms. They need to pick up some seats in the Senate. If they lose seats and they lose leadership, then we're going to be looking at, for the most part, the House is probably going to go to the Republicans. So you'll have leadership in the House, Republicans running leadership in the House, and then you'll have in the Senate, you'll also have Mitch McConnell coming back and leading the Senate. And that would mean that nothing would get done, nothing at all, because you have President Biden wanting to move forward with different legislation, but then you're going to have the House and the Senate run by Republicans, and they're not going to want to do anything that the president wants to do. And all they're going to do is bicker back and forth. And one of the things that's on the table right now is Social Security. What are they going to do with Social Security? So this is very crucial. And are we going to be in a situation where we're just going to reform Social Security but not make any expansion, or are we going to expand Social Security? And when I say expand it, I mean the $200 raise for Social Security. I mean that they're going to start looking more into Medicare and trying to fix that program and make it cheaper and negotiate lower prescription medication for all medication, not just a few medications. So there's a lot that's on the table, and there's a lot that's on the line in this midterm election. So we're going to have to follow it and see where that goes. If you guys have any questions, post them down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.